Good afternoon, students. I am Dr. Onimes Dre from Allied Health Science Department, Bmrit University. From this video, I will give you a series of lectures on the last part of external and internal respiration process. I have already discussed about the respiratory organs, mechanism of respiration, functions of different parts of respiratory tract in the classroom. Due to unavoidable circumstances, I have to create a small series of lecture videos for the completion of this module 7. The process of respiration starts from the transport of oxygen from external environment to the internal environment of the body. For this mechanism, our oxygen transport process is divided into 4 parts. Number 1, transfer of oxygen from atmosphere to lungs. Number 2, diffusion of oxygen across the alveoli to the blood. Number 3, diffusion of oxygen from blood to tissue. And number 4, utilization of oxygen within the tissues. These 4 parts are extremely important for maintenance of the oxygen supply in our body. Above these 4 processes, first 3 are included in external respiration, as this process occur outside the cell, actually outside the tissue, but in our body. But the last part, which is utilization of oxygen in tissue, is the process of oxygen transport within the cell and specifically within the mitochondria. For this reason, this is called internal respiration. The site of gaseous exchange is divided into 3 parts. Number 1, alveolus, which is the unit of lungs. Number 2, circulatory system or capillaries, mainly alveolar capillaries. From alveolar capillaries to the ultimate arterioles and arteriolar capillaries of the systemic circulation, and from these into the tissue. The main mechanism of oxygen transport is carried by simple diffusion process. Due to pressure difference between alveolar gas and circulatory gas, a gradient of pressure is formed, and from high to low partial pressure of gas, unidirectional transport of any gas can be transported. The direction of oxygen transport is carried by from alveolus to blood capillaries, from alveolar capillaries towards the arteriolar capillaries, systemic capillaries, and ultimately from alveolar capillaries to the last part of the cell or tissue. The gaseous exchange within the lungs is carried by venous blood circulation. Venous blood enters the pulmonary capillaries due to pressure exchange. After air entering within the alveolus, the alveolar air pressure becomes fully saturated with mixed air. In this air composition, oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water vapors are present. Among these mixed gases, we require oxygen. The partial pressure of oxygen within the alveolar surface is approximately 104 millimeter of mercury, which is actually equals to the barometric pressure. I have already discussed about the partial pressure. What is partial pressure? What is the significance of this partial pressure in our body? Partial pressure is the individual pressure of mixed gases. Our barometric air pressure is about 760 millimeter of mercury, among which oxygen percentage is approximately 20%. Among these, the partial pressure is also equally divided for each of the gases, and that's why it is approximately 104 millimeter of mercury pressure within the alveolar cavity. The partial pressure of oxygen within the capillaries surrounding the blood flow is approximately 60 millimeter of mercury. For this pressure difference, oxygenated air can introduce within this capillary wall, and the pressure difference is 60 millimeter of mercury. In the next video, I will thoroughly describe with diagram about the whole process of oxygen supply. Thank you.